So, I got hired to cater another party. This time it's nothing but desserts. Chocolate desserts to be exact. And I'm no pastry chef by any means. I'm just an old, crusty line cook. So I thought I'd bring you along for the ride to see how well this goes. So with that said, let's get started.
Before we get started making any desserts, I needed to do a bit of research. I wanted to plan a menu that was going to be easy to eat while moving around, fairly easy to execute, kind of elegant-ish, sort of, but not really, and of course, make some of the guests' favorite items as well. During the collection of information, I used it as a good excuse to eat some chocolate as inspiration. So I decided on doing 5 different desserts. This way there would be a few different things to choose from to help me get pumped up and ready to make all the things. I thought it would be a great idea to dry scoop some chocolate milk powder like a true gym bro. I really don't recommend doing this because, dang, that stuff is really sweet. The first dessert I chose for the party was salted caramel chocolates. I decided to go with these because they're so dang good, easy to eat, and also make for a great item to take home in a goodie bag. These are the same desserts I did for the New Year's party. Some of the same people from that party will also be at this one, so I knew they would go over really well. I slightly changed them up from the last time that I made them. I added some instant espresso powder to bring more flavor, and I also tempered the chocolate for a nicer look. The biggest change I made though was making the chocolates in mini muffin cups instead of using the chocolate molds. Doing it this way made it way more efficient and easier to knock out. Also makes it easier to serve in a large group setting. To finish them off, I added some flaky sea salt for that extra bougie look. The next dessert we decided on was a no-bake chocolate cheesecake. Once again, there was still a shortage on chocolate graham crackers, so I had to improvise and make my own for the crust. If you want to learn how to make your own chocolate graham cracker crust, I'll leave a link in the description so you can learn how to make this delicious chocolate cheesecake. I went with the no-bake chocolate cheesecake because it's a simple dessert to execute and easy to cut into smaller pieces to make it go further. A little fun fact, apparently you can overpack the crust. I say this because one of the guests tried to cut through the cheesecake crust and broke their fork, which then shot out and poked someone in the eye, and now they're a pirate every year for Halloween. That's a sad day. Okay, yeah, you're right. That last part actually didn't happen, but I guess pro tip, use actual silverware instead of plastic so you don't end up losing an eye. You're welcome, I think, maybe. The start of day 3 of prep, I made 2 different sets of chocolate truffles. I made everything in this order of the menu because I knew all these desserts would hold up and store well before the party. The truffles that I ended up making were a semi-sweet chocolate truffle and a bittersweet chocolate truffle. I like the different types because the flavor profiles are completely different from one another and gives great options to choose from. Decided to go with the truffles since they're small, which makes them easy to eat. It's also a chocolate party, and to me, these are as chocolatey as you could get without eating a bar of chocolate. I chose these because they also sound elegant and bougie, kind of a nice touch to the party. Honestly, I was a little nervous to make these. I've never made them before, and they seemed a bit tricky to make, but they're actually super easy, just really messy is all. By the end of it, I figured out a few tricks to make them look nicer, which I'll share some other time though. To finish them off, I rolled them in some Dutch processed cocoa powder and sprinkled one with powdered sugar so I could tell the difference between the two. You can only eat like 1 or 2 of these because they're super rich in flavor, which works out, I guess, because you'll have them for a while. I put them in mini muffin cups, which made them easier to transport, display, and easy to grab. The second to last dessert that I chose to make for the party was double chocolate chip cookies. Cookies are universally just a great treat to have. Everyone knows what they are, and everyone pretty much loves them in some way or another. A little fun fact, most places outside of North America, like the UK, don't call them cookies, they call them biscuits. The more you know. These were super easy to make. They're also a great dessert to have amongst a large group of people since they are shareable and easy to eat. That's why I chose them, and of course, can't go wrong with double chocolate for a chocolate themed party. Pro tip, don't over bake your cookies if you want them to be soft and chewy. But of course, that comes down to personal preference though. To make the cookies look even more aesthetically pleasing, I topped them with more chocolate chips and a small pinch of flaky sea salt. I ended up making a double batch of cookies and 2 whole cheesecakes, plus all the other good things to serve 12 to 13 people that were at this party. I definitely overestimated what I needed to make, but whatever was left over made for great to-go baggies, and the extra cheesecake was frozen and used for my friend's Thanksgiving. That's one of those things that I'm trying to learn and figure out, is how to estimate the proper amount of things I need without being under or over. I believe it's one of those skills that comes with time and is one of those things that you learn by doing. On the last day of prep and the day of the party, I needed to finish the last dessert of the 5 on the menu. The last dessert that I needed to make was a German chocolate cake. I forgot to mention this earlier, but this gathering of people was a surprise birthday party. This is why the last dessert is a cake. This is my friend's favorite cake and will be the birthday cake for the party. This thing is the main event, the showstopper, the most important dessert of them all. So it was imperative that I didn't mess things up, which of course is no pressure at all. Yeah, I got this, no problem. So the first thing I did was, of course, messed it up. I was trying to do too many things at once and I over toasted the pecans, which tasted slightly burnt, but don't worry, the second time went a lot smoother. Once I figured out the pecans, I started on the many steps of this recipe. I'm super glad this cake ended up on the menu. I learned so much about baking and cakes in general with this recipe. At first, it seemed like it was going to be a daunting task, but it was a lot simpler than I expected. Just took a few steps to get to a great end product. Pro tip, if you ever make a baked good like cupcakes or a cake or a loaf or anything that needs frosted, it's very important that you let things completely cool down or you'll end up with a mess. You didn't work that hard to come up short and make a little mistake like that. Once everything was ready, it was time to get frosty. I made my own little cake plate carrier thing with cardboard and some tinfoil. A pro tip, if you don't want your cake moving around, you can glue it in place with a small bit of frosting. It works really well. And when I was stacking the cakes on top of each other to make that nice high layer of a cake, the middle one I offset just slightly crooked like, and I try to go pick it back up, but it was already glued in place, so it's kind of leaning to one side or off center, which is totally fine. It worked out great. The birthday cake went over super well. They said it's the best frosting they've had with this cake. After I had it frosted, I had to battle on how to get it to the party in one piece. The cake carrier I was using was too small, but I made it work and everything got to the party in one piece, thankfully. Once everything was done, I had a couple of hours to get packed up and made sure everything was good to go.
The party is over now and it went off without a hitch. Everybody enjoyed the desserts. There's a few things that I wish I would have done better or differently. For some of the desserts, for example like the cookies, I baked them just a touch too long, so they became hard over time, which sucks and it's unfortunate, but it's one of those things you don't know until you mess up, and you gotta mess up to learn, unfortunately, but it's great to have that knowledge in my back pocket for next time. Overall though, it was a ton of fun to do because I pushed myself out of my comfort zone and got more confident in making desserts, which is awesome, and it was just fun to see new things and try new things for myself. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. And in the future, I'm probably going to make some of these desserts for videos. But if you don't see it, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know which one you want to see. And I got to go brush my teeth because I ate a ton of chocolate and I have a dentist appointment here soon, which I'm glad for because I need it after this one. So we'll see you in the next one. Got hired to party. Pastry skills in general, so that was great. That's great. Everybody enjoyed the desserts for sure. You know, is a great thing to have in my back pocket. Off without a hitch, and everybody loved the desserts.